Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have a book review of the book Street of Shadows by Michael Reaves. This is the second book in the Coruscant Nights trilogy. About a month ago, I read the first book in this trilogy, and it was really good. A lot of fun. I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10. It was really a crime thriller, while also fitting into Star Wars very well. This book is of similar quality, but a little bit of a different style. Rather than being a crime thriller like the first book that had to deal with like the different factions of the underworld that are trying to work against each other, and then our characters getting kind of stuck in the middle and stuff. This book is a series of mysteries. There are actually 3 mysteries primarily in this book, and they all converge together at the end. But they're 3 separate mysteries that characters are exploring. The first mystery is who killed Vez. The second mystery is who is responsible for the death of Padme Amidala. And the third mystery is where is Jax Pavan. The first mystery, who killed Vez, is about this painter, this renowned artist. He's not a painter, he's an artist who gets murdered mysteriously, and his business partner / close friend / were they lovers or not, we don't know. Anyway, someone who was very close to him, a Zeltrin named Deja Dwyer, she goes and basically hires Jax Pavan to help her solve the mystery. She and Vez were trying to get off the planet, which is the service that Jax normally serves. But when Vez is killed, she doesn't. Deja does not want to leave the planet until she solves the murder mystery. And so Jax agrees because he knows he's not getting paid until she's off planet, and she's not getting off planet till she gets answers. So he decides to help her out, and he becomes kind of a sleuth. Him and his team, like I-5, Dendur, and Loranth, and they all go together as a team to try to solve who killed Vez. And it's actually really delightful, this mystery. It's clear, reading this, that in terms of designing a mystery and a murder mystery and figuring out who, laying all the details of the murder weapon and all that stuff, Michael Reaves is not quite as strong or adept at this as, say, someone like Agatha Christie. Yet, it's still really fun to read because Michael Reaves still puts a lot of energy to it. The twist at the end is actually quite fun to read. I thought it was a very clever twist still. I don't know how well it was actually fully laid out, but it was still a fun twist to read. So I did enjoy that aspect of the mystery. And I liked seeing Jax also learn about himself and his father, Lorn Pavan, who was in the Darth Maul Shadowhunter book, and seeing his relationship deepen with I-5. Sadly, I-5 and Dendur have almost no scenes together in this book, so we didn't get the kind of camaraderie and humor that we did in the previous book. But still, it's fine. So that was the first mystery. The second mystery is who is responsible for the death of Padme Amidala. Now, this is a mystery that we, the audience, know. We've seen episode 3. We know who killed Padme. We know that it was Anakin Vader. It was Anna Vader. It was his fault. But you know who doesn't know that? Captain Typho. Typho knows that Padme was with Vader, with Anakin, but she doesn't know, and he thinks that Anakin's dead as well. So he tries to figure out who is this Vader, and is he responsible for Padme's death? And there's a little bit of a twist to Typho's character in this, and that he's actually in love with Padme. And I thought that was a very odd choice. I didn't get that impression from the movies or any other material that we've ever gotten for Star Wars, that he was in love with Padme. Maybe that's just something that Michael Reaves decided to do, or that's something that the story team at the time, the editors, all agreed with. But it just seemed odd. It fits the plot of the book, but it doesn't feel in line with the character. So that was one little nitpick I had with it. But still, that mystery was fun. I spent the whole time going, no, don't do it. I did not want Typho to pull on this thread because I knew if Typho comes up against Vader, you know who's going to survive that. Not just because Vader survives, and stuff, but also because Vader is Vader. And so I was like, no, Typho, don't explore this. And so I spent the whole book nervous about what would happen to Typho, hoping beyond hope that maybe he might find some way to survive and keep going. And also, Typho ends up crossing paths with our main characters somehow on Coruscant. Then you also have... Actually, I should back up and say Typho's story and several moments reminded me of Andor. Andor Season 2 is, as I'm recording this, just about to release. As this is released, Andor Season 2 has been out for a while. But... in Andor Season 1, Cyril Karn is kind of doing some investigations in Andor Season 1, and Typho's story here really reminded me of that, especially since they both take place on Coruscant, that I really liked. Then you have the third mystery of the book, which is, where is Jax Pavan? Vader wants to know this, and rather than get to work and do it himself, he decides to enlist the help of Aura Singh. And Aura Singh, we know from the Clone Wars TV show, we know from Episode 1, seeing her very briefly there, and we know her as a bounty hunter, and Vader hires her. And this is very much we can't have Vader do the showdown with Jax yet because it's not the third book, so Vader has to have someone else do it instead. And that's really how that went. And this was the least interesting plot line in the book, the least interesting mystery. I really didn't care about Aura Singh's character that much in here, so that it was still really fun to read, but still like as a mystery, but still as character-wise, I wasn't as invested in Aura in this book. And so there's the three mysteries, and they all come together kind of at the end. And I think Michael Reaves did a good job of bringing all the plot lines together and weaving them in and out. And this book actually reminded me, the way that it's about murder, the way that it's about like set underneath Coruscant, one setting, the fact that it moves really fast, it really reminded me of a Clone Wars arc. It reminded me of like the Clone Wars arcs where like there's like a murder in the Senate and all the senators are trying to investigate and find out who did the murder and stuff, and there's all the twists and stuff. That's exactly how this felt like that arc. So I really enjoyed the book. I think that was a plus for it. I'm curious to see if book 3 will keep the mystery style, or if it'll go back to the crime thriller style of the first book, or if it'll throw in a whole new subgenre of storytelling. But just it's clear that this thriller aspect to Michael Reaves' writing is what makes him such a great writer. Darth Maul Shadowhunter is a horror thriller novel, and so he gets how to do thrillers. When he breaks away from thrillers, like when he did the MedStar duology with Steve Perry, those are very much not thriller paced. There's like exciting elements in them, but they're not thrillers. And I think those are his weakest books by far. And so I think that it's clear that when he does thrillers, he excels, and when they're not thrillers, it's not as good. So those are my thoughts on Street of Shadows. I had a blast. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, just like I gave the first book. Is this top tier Star Wars? No. But it's really fun. I'm really having a blast with it, and it's worth the read. So yeah, I would give it 8.5 out of 10. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the mysteries? What did you think about Who Killed Vez Valette? That was lots of fun. Let me know all those thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.